प्रयासे पहते तस्मिन् दैत्येन्द्रः परिसंखिता चकार तद्वदोपायान् निर्बन्धेन युधिष्ठिरा. My dear King Yudhishthira, when all the attempts of the demons to kill Prahlad Maharaj was futile, the king of the demons, Hiranyakashipu, being most fearful, began contriving other means to kill him. Digajay Dandasukhendrair Abhichara Vapatanai Mayavihi Sannirodhaischa Garadhanair Abhojanai Himavayu Agnisalilai Parvata Kramanair Vapi Nasa Saka Yada Hantum Abhapam Ashurasutam Chintam Dirghatamam Praptas Tatkratam Nabhaya Padyata. Translation. Hiranyakashipu could not kill his son by throwing him beneath the feet of big elephants, throwing him among huge fearful snakes, employing destructive spells, hurling him from the top of the hill, conjuring up illusory tricks, administering poison, starving him, exposing him to severe cold, winds, fire and water, or throwing in heavy stones to crush him. When Hiranyakashipu found that he could not in any way harm Prahlad, who was completely sinless, he was in great anxiety about what to do next. Esame bahu asada kuto bhadapayascha nirmita tayestair drohair asadharmair muktaha se spanayum tejasam. Hiranyakashipu thought, I have used many ill names in chastising this boy Prahlad and have devised many means to kill him. But despite all my endeavors, he could not be killed. Indeed, he saved himself by his own powers, without being affected in the least by these treacheries and abominable actions. Text number 46. Vartamano viduro vai balopi ajadadirayam na vismarati nenaryam sunaha sepa iva prabhu. Vartamano viduru vai balopi ajadadirayam na vismarati menaryam sunha sepa iva prabhu. Vartamano viduru vai balopi ajadadirayam na vismarati menaryam sunha sepa iva prabhu. Vartamana viduru vai na vismarati menaryam sunha sepa iva prabhu. Vartamano viduru vai na vismarati nenaryam sunha sepa iva prabhu. Vartamano viduru vai balopi ajadadirayam na vismarati nenaryam Vasepaiva Prabhu. Mataji's Vartamano Viduro Bhai Balopi Ajadadirayam Nasmaradi Menaryam Sunasepaiva Prabhu Vartamano Viduro Bhai Balopi Ajadadirayam Na Vismarati Mena Haryam Sunasepaiva Prabhu Vartamana being situated Avidure not very far away. Why? Indeed Balaha a mere child Api although Ajadadihi complete fearlessness. I am this, not, Vismarati, forgets, my, Anaryam, misbehavior, Sunaha Sepaha, the curved tail of a dog, Eva, exactly like Prabhu, being able or potent. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Although he is very near to me and is merely a child, he is situated in complete fearlessness. He resembles a dog's curved tail, which can never be straightened, because he never forgets my misbehavior and his connection with his master, Lord Vishnu. Purport. The word Sunaha means of a dog and Sepa means tail. The example is ordinary. However, one may try to straighten a dog's tail. It is never straight but always curved. Sunaha Sepa is also the name of the second son of Ajigartha. He was sold to Harishchandra, but he later took shelter of Vishwamitra, Harishchandra's enemy, and never left his side. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnapastaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Dinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vaschatya Desatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So here the chapter talks about the saintly son of Hiranyakashipu, Prahlad Maharaj. Here Prabhupada gives a historic purport, which here he talks about two personalities. He speaks about Sunaha Sepa. He is also a person, second son of Ajigrata. And Harishchandra is a very popular figure in India, where everyone knows for his good qualities. Prabhupada also talks about the dog's tail cannot be curved. And there is an English proverb that the dog's tail stays crooked even if he is buried for 12 years. It is an English proverb. You can never straighten up a dog's tail. Sorry. In Srimad Bhagavatam, in second canto, Sukadeva Goswami talks about, the Bhagavatam speaks about the 10 subject matters actually. in the 10th chapter, in first shloka, Atra sarga visargascha sthanam poshanam utiyaha manvantras ishanukata nirodha muktir ashaya. Mahapuran talks about 10 subject matters which are like the creation of the universe, planetary systems, sub-creation, and protection by the Lord, and also the creative impetus, the change of the Manu, and plus the signs of the God, and liberation, which means mukti, in other words, back to Godhead, and also ashreha, the summum bonum. In the lesser Purana, which are not Mahapuranas, which talks about 5 subject matters, Puranam Panchalakshanam, which is a smaller Purana, and Mahapurana talks about the 10 subject matter. And here we see this is a historical purport which Prabhupada talks about a person's history. Sunaha Sepa is actually in the Aitharya Brahmana, in the Rig Veda, where there is a story comes where King Harishchandra, who was born in the Ikshvaku dynasty, who had like 100 sons, 100 wives. Even in the 100 wives, he could not beget a son. So, as per the advice of Narada Muni, Harishchandra prayed to Varunadev for a son. Varunadev, he did agree to benedict him a son. With an agreement that when a son is born, he has to give his son in sacrifice. And Harishchandra, he agreed for that. Then, when the son was born, Varunadev came. And Varunadev came and asked for his son. But Harishchandra, who was attached to his son, and he named him as Rohita. But he doesn't want to give him as a sacrifice. And he kept on delaying to Varunadev. So once, when the son Rohitva reached adulthood, again Varunadev came. But at that time, Rohitva, he escaped himself to the forest. So being upset with Harishchandra, he actually cursed him, didn't curse, but he afflicted him with stomach illness. So hearing his father's misfortune, his son Rohitva, he usually intermittently, he comes and visits his father. So while on his way, Rohitva, he found a Brahmana. His name was Ajigrata, who was mentioned here. Prabhupada mentions his name, Ajigrata. So he actually he went to that Brahmana, who was a descendant of Angira. Ajigrata, he had 3 sons. So Rohitva, who is the son of Harishchandra, he went to that Brahman and he said that situation. He told the situation that his father has to sacrifice one of his son. So he told that Brahmana Jigrata that you have 3 sons, give one of your son in sacrifice. So I can, in exchange, I can give you 100 cows. Najigrata, who is had 3 sons, he agreed, but his wife doesn't want to give the last son, and he doesn't want to give the middle son. The first son. So they decided to give the middle son, whose name is, which Prabhupada mentions here, his name is Sunaha Sepa. He's the second son of Ajigrata. But later, the Brahman, Varuna agreed that Brahman's son is worthy than a Kshatriya's son. So Varunadev agreed for that. When Sunaha Sepa was brought into the arena, and the priests, they don't want to kill him in sacrifice because he was a Brahmana. and they don't want to kill him in sacrifice. So his father himself, he told, if you give me one more son, 100 cows more, I can sacrifice my son on behalf of other priest. So again he gave 100 cows more, and then his father was ready to sacrifice his son Sunahasepa. That's why who is the second son, Prabhupada said here. Sunahasepa is the second son of Ajigratha. So while doing so, his son, which was at the time of dawn, which means something comes into existence. Dawn means light comes out, sunlight, the day begins, which is called as dawn. So that time he chanted a mantra, and then that mantra no one could bind it. That's why it is called. That's why Sunahasepa example is given, that you cannot bind him, you cannot straighten him. And while chanting his mantra, he relieved from that bondage, plus he also relieved Harishchandra from stomach illness. This is one of the story from the Purana. And there also Prabhupada talks about Vishwamitra, he was sold to Harishchandra. He was later took shelter of Vishwamitra, Harishchandra's enemy, and never left his side. Also one more story in the Markandeya Puran, where the same Harishchandra personality who lived in the Treta Yuga, and he's very honest and noble, and plus he was good at taking care of his subjects. His kings, as a king, he was good at his subjects, and he was enjoying the life of prosperity and peace. So once, and also he had a queen named Taramati, who is his wife. She was also called as Shahiva. And they had a son, Rohitswa, as we discussed, I told in the story, in the first story. As a king, the king's hobby is go to the hunt in the forest. So once he was going to the forest to hunt in expedition. So at that time, there was a sage called Vishwamitra who was performing tapasya. And that tapasya, and there was one more, a personality called Vignaraja. Vignaraja means one who puts the obstacles in others' life. It's called as Vignaraj. He always trying to make sure that people, they don't progress in spiritual life. That is his duty. So Vishwamitra, seeing Vishwamitra was doing tapasya, so Vignaraja, he wanted to disturb his Vishwamitra's his meditation. And Vignaraja, he created an illusion. He created a sound, illusory sound. So hearing that, Harishchandra, who is a king, who went to the forest for hunting, he heard the sound of a woman crying for help. So when he went there, he saw that Vishwamitra Muni was doing meditation. So using that opportunity, the Vignaraja, who is the personified obstacle, he entered into the body of Harishchandra, and he started abusing. So when he went into the body of Harishchandra, he started abusing Vishwamitra. And in great anger, Vishwamitra, he cursed Harishchandra that you have disturbed my meditation. And when Harishchandra came to his senses, when he found out that whatever he had done is not himself, but he was being he has been forced to do through some other personality like Vignaraja. But Vishwamitra was ready to curse. But Harishchandra, he wanted to apologize and begged him forgiveness. And Vishwamitra, he said that to Harishchandra, that I'm doing a Rajasuya Yagna, that you have to give me some donation. And king said that whatever you ask, and I will give it to you. So Vishwamitra actually told him that I want everything from you. I want the whole kingdom, except your wife and children. And Harishchandra, who is a very noble and honest king, he agreed to that treat. And then he went to his kingdom and he started giving away everything to Vishwamitra. And he was about to leave his kingdom. After when he started let go all of his possessions, even his clothes. As we see in his life that he was ready to leave his palace and his family. And not only that, Harishchandra was being asked by Vishwamitra that you have to give some more donation. And Harishchandra said that, he gave him a word that I will, in a month, I will give you more, once more, I will give you more. And Harishchandra started living in a extreme poverty with his wife and children. But because of his good nature, some of his subjects of the kingdom started to follow Harishchandra. And Vishwamitra said that, listen, when you donate your kingdom, your subjects, whatever in the kingdom belongs to me too. So none of your subjects can follow you, though they may be loyal to you. But everything belongs to me. So Harishchandra has to tell everyone to go back except his wife and kid. Then the king decided to leave his kingdom with his family, and then they started making a move. And while doing that, Vishwamitra actually, he told the king and his wife that go sooner, and he took even a stick to beat his wife. Seeing his rude activity, even the directions, the personality directions, they appeared and started condemning Vishwamitra for his heinous act. That, how cruel are you to behave like this? And Vishwamitra, who is even more powerful than the directions, east, west, north, south, northeast, southeast, for all the directions, all the 8 directions, he's powerful, that he actually cursed the directions to take birth as human beings. That on the north side is the personified north is Kuvera, and the personified south is Yama, and the personified east is Indra. It's all taken, each direction is guarded by each demigod. He even cursed these big personalities to take birth as human beings. And they are all take birth as Pandavas. We see that the Indra's son became Arjuna, and the Vayu's son became a Bhima, and like that. And so it is also it's very important that it's not that no one is looking at you when you commit any sinful activity. Through the Shastras and Puranas, we can see that the day is witness and the night is witness. All the directions are witness. Even you may talk about someone in the 4 sides, 4 walls in between, you talk something bad about someone, still the directions are witnessing you. And still the day is witnessing you and the night is witnessing you. So no one can escape from any sinful activity. Doesn't matter, you're doing in the night time or daytime. You're always witnessed by the higher personalities. Every action is counted. And so from this, that's one thing which we can draw from this story to learn about. And also, when Harishchandra was in extreme poverty with his wife and children, who was literally he has not having any food to eat. And again, Vishwamitra came to ask for some donation. And in between, he had the sage demanded that the king had promised him. Harishchandra actually pointed out that there was still some time left in completion of the month. So the sage agreed and left. And Harishchandra saw his hungry son crying for food, and also he is very much worried that how he would be able to make a donation to the sage. His wife Taramati actually, she suggested that you sell me you sell me that you get some donation as a gold coins and you can give it to Vishwamitra, who's a Brahmana, because he gave him a word that I will give you, so he tried to maintain his word. This is how Harishchandra is. When he gives a word, he kept his word. And Harishchandra actually, he accepted that proposal to sell his own wife. And he sold his wife. And when he sold his wife, the child doesn't want to live with his mother. So, and his son also went with his mother. So, soon after, when Vishwamitra appeared and demanded for the donation, and Harishchandra gave him all the money he had received from the sale of his wife. Then after that, Vishwamitra was still unhappy with the donation. It's hard to please a Brahmana or what. And demanded more, and Harishchandra decided to sell himself actually. And when he wanted to sell himself, he found a Chandala, who is a dog eater, who is none other than Dharma personified, came in front of him in disguise as a Chandal to purchase him. Because Harishchandra was born in a Kshatriya family, he doesn't want to sell himself to a lower caste person. Still he was hesitant. And so he thought, let me become a slave of a Brahmana at least, instead of becoming a slave of a Chandala. So he went and became surrendered to Vishwamitra himself. I am a slave of you, please accept me. And then Vishwamitra told him, okay, now you are a slave of me, it's your order to obey me. So now I am selling you to this Chandala. So you become his slave. So he sold Harishchandra to this Chandal and took some gold coins from him. And then later Chandal, who is none other than Dharma in disguise, he told Harishchandra that your duty is to burn the body, and whatever the dead body comes, you have to collect the fees and a fee for that. So some fee goes to the king, and some is for me, and rest is yours. And he was doing that sometime, and then one night he had a dream. In that dream he was dreaming that all this misfortune is just because of me performing sinful activities in the past life. He was having a nightmare, unpleasant dream. He was seeing that he is becoming a beggar and how cruel he was in his past life, and all this misfortune falling in this life. And due to that, while dreaming in that way, he saw in the dream his wife came and started crying with his son. He was crying with his son in the dream. And suddenly his dream broke, and he really saw that his wife in front of me crying with his dead son. And then he actually wanted to commit suicide looking at this pathetic situation. And then he decided that I should commit suicide. Then later on he decided that I shouldn't commit, because if I commit suicide, then again the leftover sin will come in the next life. So let me suffer whatever the past reactions are. So meanwhile his wife actually ready to cremate his son's body. And then Harishchandra told, you cannot cremate until you give me a fee. So when he said that, all the demigods and other big personalities actually appeared in front of him and appreciated his good qualities, that being a honest and being a person of a virtuous, and he appreciated him, and they all told him that this is all nothing but our drama, that we wanted to prove you are virtuous. How virtuous are you? It is also said that in the Samhitas that dharma eva hato hanti dharmo rakshatahi. When one who destroys dharma, he gets killed by dharma. This is called dharma eva hato hanti. If you make a plan to destroy dharma, it's nothing but a plan to kill yourself. Dharmo rakshata rakshati. If you make a plan to protect dharma, is nothing but a plan that it's protecting yourself. The Prabhupada said that, dharma is not man-made, and dharma is actually cannot be a speculation also. And dharma is a method which a person can achieve a spiritual progress. In Manu Samhita, in Manu Smriti, actually, Manu Maharaj says that there are 10 symptoms of a dharma. Dhritikshama dhamahasteyam sauchendriya yani graha dividya satyam krodho dasakam dharma lakshanam. These are the limbs of dharma. When anyone speaks about dharma, there has to be a 10 systems which should be visible. He talks about, the first thing which talks about is dharthi, which means one should be in fortitude, which means in the situation of a difficulty, one has to know how to tolerate the difficulty. This is a symptom of a dharma. You cannot retaliate or act in a very opposite way. One has to, fortitude, Krishna also speaks about, it's a divine quality, fortitudeness. One actually tolerates his misfortune. It means the patience which is exhibited by a person, even in the case of difficulty, extreme difficulty, still he tolerates. This is also a limb of dharma. And the second quality he talks about, shama, which means he forgets and forgives. This is a symptom of a dharmic person, and it's a limb, part of a symptom of dharma itself. And he forgets not only attributes of the weakness of others. Due to the people always commit sinful activities, people always have troubles, or they make troubles to him, oneself. But he always forgets that and forgives. And also, he is Dhamma, he controls his mind. And fourth quality he speaks about asteyam, which means not stealing. He doesn't steal anyone's property. And fifth is the saucha, which means purity, which is inside and outside. And indriya nigraha, control of the senses. And di, which means wisdom. Prabhupada talks about the quality of being wise. Wise means someone who shows experience in knowledge and a person of a good judgment. He does a very good judgment and he knows what is right and what is wrong. And also vidya. Vidya is also a part of dharma, which means refers to the education about the laws of life. And in the purport of knowledge, it talks about the knowledge should be always be crowned with humility. The knowledge should always be crowned with humility. A person who is down to the earth with humility is a real knowledgeable person. It talks about vidya dadati vinayam, vinayam dadati patram, patram udanam apnoti, dhanam adharma tataha sukham. Knowledge means that which gives you a discipline, a good behavior, and plus from the discipline comes a worthiness. When a person is disciplined, he becomes worthy of doing something. Either you can preach or you can lead others. It's all come from the first step. That when you go to a college or any gurukul, the first thing is you'll be taught knowledge. And that produces a good behavior in person. That is the fruit of knowledge. And he becomes very disciplined and sense controlled. And from there, he becomes a sense of a worthy person. Once you don't have a discipline, Prabhupada said that this big organization cannot be run without obedience and discipline. We are running such a big organization all over the world. To run an organization, we need men of a character with discipline and obedience, who listens and takes up a good behavior. So that leads to sense of worthiness. You become useful person when you apply that in your life. When you control your senses and have a good behavior. Otherwise, you become a useless person because your knowledge have no use and you're not applying it, and you become
you won't be you become a worthless. Though you went to a college, Gurukul and everything, but you have not in a disciplinary manner, so you become worthless. You're not of a character, so you cannot take any message for anyone. And from worthiness comes, one gets wealth, which means purity. Wealth is also translated as purity. The purity of the Brahmana's wealth is purity. He takes that wealth and from wealth comes good deeds. He does good for others, and from he becomes happy. By doing that, he becomes happy. This is how. This is the art of how to be happy. If anyone wants to live a happy life, this is how you live a happy life. And plus, the ninth quality talks about the truthfulness. The essence of life is seeking the truth, which means actually the absolute truth. And also the 10th, it speaks about akrodha, which means not getting angry. These are all some of the qualities when a person when he develops, it becomes very conducive for his self-realization. All these qualities are very conducive for self-realization, which means you realize yourself that you are not this body. All these things are very conducive. Once the person develops these qualities, it becomes very easy to progress in the process of self-realization. Also in the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where he talks about Yashasti Bhaktir Bhagavad-Gita Kanchana Sarve Gunastatra Samasade Shuraha Hara Bhaktasya Kuto Mahadguna Manorati Nasati Davato Bhahi. If one has an unflinching faith in the devotional service to Krishna, he develops all good qualities. He doesn't have to actually endeavor separately to be a person of character. When he once just he follows the process of devotional life, all the qualities manifest in a person. If it is not developing, that means something is wrong with the person's performance. The process is 100% guarantee that it purifies you. But if that is not happening, that the performer has a problem. Either he is not performing with the right attitude or he is doing in an offensive way. That's why there is the transformation in his life is not happening. Otherwise, the process is so powerful that it can transform anyone. And it can take you to the level of prema bhakti. A person is a sadhaka, a person who is a neophyte, by just taking up the process, and eventually, gradually, he progresses all the way up to the level of loving Krishna, falling in love with Krishna. If that is not happening, a person has to introspect himself that something he is doing wrong. The process is right, but if the person is doing wrong. Here, this Prabhupada talks about also fearlessness of a devotee, where a sinful person is fearless. Actually, that is one of the quality. That if you want to be a fearless person, the first thing is that in your life, you stop committing sinful activity. That's the first step which you take. Because any sinful activity you perform, it creates fear in the mind, in the back. For example, if you're stealing money, but in the public, you show yourself as a nice person, but still the fear is there. A sinful person cannot become fearless. A person has to be sinless in every activity. In whatever dealing you are doing, one has to be sinless in your behavior, in your dealings, in your work, and everything. There shouldn't be any politics, which is nothing for me, it's only for benefiting others. So he becomes a fearless person. He doesn't have to worry, because once a person takes up the process of dharma, he will be protected. That faith has to be there. That if you take up the qualities of a dharma, you will be protected by dharma. Dharma rakshati rakshata. If you protect dharma, you will be protected by dharma. It's not that your wife, your children will go hungry, and if you become a truthful person, there will not be anyone to take care of you. It's not like that. The food doesn't come with some from a company, which comes from the land, which is given by Krishna. It is ultimately, he is the controller. He sees a person's attitude and what he is doing. So when he is a devotee of Krishna, he is trying to his level best to be a sincere person. He is completely protected by Krishna. Just like Prahlad Maharaj couldn't be killed by any process. He was trying to kill him. Hiranyakashipu was trying to roll him from the top of the hill, and he is trying to kill him through the poisonous eggs. But nothing could affect Prahlad Maharaj, just because he is connected to Krishna. And he is completely accepted the process. He doesn't deviate an inch. And just like there is also is saying that who serves God fears nothing, and whoever serves God, they fears nothing. This is a proverb, English proverb. And also we see in Srila Prabhupada's life that Abhay the bold, who in his old age, he wanted to travel to the West and preach in the Western countries. He was even told by Sumati Morarji that, Swamiji, why you are going to America? You are an old man. You are old, America is cold. And Prabhupada replied that, I know that I am old, America is bold. America is cold. And then Prabhupada replied that, I am bold, but I can go. Because Prabhupada in his life, we see that he was so fearless that he can single-handedly go and preach Krishna consciousness and change people and transform everyone to be a pure devotee. Prabhupada also said that my real glory will be when my disciples will be glorified all over the world. We see that he went to his Western country and he changed Westerners, and they became glorified by all of his disciples. So a fearlessness, it's nothing but it's a side effect of devotional service. That when a person performs devotional service, he gets all kinds of qualities. Finally, I would like to say that to a bold man, a fortune gives her hand. This is also a proverb. If someone takes a bold step for Krishna, to preach Krishna consciousness, fortune herself and comes and gives her hand. You don't have to worry. I think I will stop here. If any comments and any questions, we can further proceed. Thank you.
As you mentioned first story, that Maharaj decided to give his son to Varudeva for sacrifice. Then Varudeva asked to his son for sacrifice that why his child is decision.
He was attached.
So this is not really like.
He wasn't really denying, but he was trying his level best to, because he has some attachment.
So he decided to give everything to Vishwamitra, including his son and his mother. So he gave.
There's a story in the Purana. Yeah. But still he has a very full of good qualities. He's an exemplary person for renunciation also. He was ready to give up and go in the street and beg. And without worry, that he was not even thinking who will feed me, and he was just ready to accept the fate with his wife and children. Hi, Babu.
Just like we see this story. So this is all planned by God.
Yeah, it's true.
So we should understand when doing this God's planning, then why do sometimes we feel that we are separated from God or we are doing independently things? How we can do Krishna consciousness is not our desire or our will or our thinking, our feeling by feeling we have to become the devotee. No, it is the plan of the Lord. He selected us just like He selected Prabhupada that go and preach. So in your family you are selected, your brother, your father, your mother, or your relatives, they are not not selected. Similarly, we have to think that whatever is the plan of the Lord is not the plan that each that we have and we have come here. This is actually, I feel it's not because of the plan of God. We should always see whatever is happening in the plan of God. Just like so much collaboration is the tolerance is given by Lord. Just like tolerance is given by Lord.
Yeah, exactly. Prabhupada, in a commentary, he states also, he wants to glorify his pure devotees. So, by doing this, he glorifies them all over the world. Look at my devotee, he's ready to take up any sufferings for me. Just to glorify his devotees, Krishna puts them in trouble. We see all the pure devotees undergo trouble. All the starting from Srila Prabhupada, the Pandavas and Prahlad Maharaj and Dhuru Maharaj, everyone undergoes trouble. And ultimately they are glorified. Krishna wants to show to this world, look at my devotee, he can do anything for me. That's the lesson which Krishna wants to teach us. This is my devotee. That he sells himself for eternity. And he can go to the hell and live and suffer. That's the deal between Krishna and his devotees. Thank you. Shakalpadrubhyasya kripasindhubhe vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavyo namo namaha. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.